Now we're here. Hello, welcome back. We're on day 4. We are on day 4 and I am going to see comments today. I'm seeing comments, I'm seeing viewers. Let's go. Say hello when you get here. Please say hello. Yes, it's working. I've got one view. Okay, awesome. This is so cool. I just knew it was going to work today. Hello, Heidi. Hello. Welcome, everybody. I know everybody's going to be turned up very shortly. He's all come. Welcome back. We're on day 4 of Manifest. Hey, Mags. Hey, Kamahi. Hello. Hello, Carmel. Oh, thanks, Kamahi. That's so good. Thank you. Good afternoon, Valerie. All right, I just want to remind you, today's prize is one of my weekly planners that lasts for a year and one of my journals. So my journals, I think they sell for about $90, and these, I'm not quite sure of the price. Anyway, all up, it's around 140, 150 bucks worth of prizes that you will receive by doing growth work that is going to help you. So when you do the work that we set you each day, and this little workbook that we've given you, and you answer the questions in there and you do some reflecting and help yourself, you get a prize for it. If you like, once you post it and show us what you've done, or give us a bit of an idea of what you've done there, so then you go in the prize draw. So today there was only, I shouldn't say only, there was, sorry about that, there was 63 this morning. Then Maggie's gone back to work with us, and now we have 72. So you have done an amazing job in those couple of hours since I put in the chat. Remember your growth work. If you don't grow, you don't get nothing different. And that could be a little bit of Catherine talk there. If you don't grow, you will not receive anything different than you're receiving right now. So the answer is you have to do something different. If you want something different, you have to change. Hello, Jackie. I think I can call you Jackie. Hey, Cheryl, how you going? So think about that. It's all up to you. You are what creates your world, and you are the one that stops your world from being created. It all starts and ends with you. Hello, Tina. So I'm so glad that you made it back here today. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you come on in and say hello and get involved. Your energy is the most important thing that there is. Your energy can create universes. Your thinking can create universes. This is how we're all here. Do you think that this thing just turned up? That's my goal. So I have this thing, like we look at this thing all the time. If you have a vision board, put it on your phone. Like, make it your screensaver, make it the background, make it be something that you keep going to each day. And most of the day, like moments of the day, like how many of you have one of these things, and it can be sitting at your desk and it's not doing anything. And you're just like, might just poke it. Just see what the time is. Just give it a poke. How many of you do that? I know I do. Just like, oh, it's 12:03. Did I get any messages? Does anybody want to talk to me? Is there any notifications there? How many of you do that throughout the day? Can you imagine if that was your screensaver, your goal, and you just sit there and you just poke it, like, oh, that's right, that's what I'm going after. Oh, how cool. Yes. And you get straight back into the energy of it. So it's a no-brainer to put it there. The other thing that I forgot to say right from day 1 is, if you're not my friend, can you please be my friend? Hi, Donna. Because if you're not my friend, I can't message you. And so if you're not my friend, can you please be my friend? And you might have to put a request into me, because Facebook has said to me I'm not allowed to request anybody to be a friend at the moment, because I'm doing too much this week. It doesn't really like it when people start doing too much and putting too much out there. So if we are not already friends, you have to ask me to be yours, and I will say yes straight away. But yeah, I sent everybody that is registered for this training, I sent every single one of you a message this morning. So I sent out, I think 63 messages or something like that, however many people are here. 63 messages out to you this morning. Now, I want you to think about this. I want you to play around with thinking. When I first started, I cared a lot about getting something back by what I put out. So if I sent somebody a message and they didn't answer me within a certain time frame in my belief system which was appropriate, I'd done something wrong. Or they think such and such about me. I would make up some story. Like my head would just make things up because that was my habit pattern, right? That was my reaction to things. And I'm going to talk about reacting today because we're all talking about action today. So that was where my thinking went. These days, I just send a message, and I sent a lot of you messages today, and I see that I sent messages to you 2 years ago. And like, I don't even hold a grudge. Don't even hold nothing. It's just like, I just send that out. I send things out with love and know that it's going to come back from somewhere. It does not have to come back from the person that I sent it to. And I want to really talk to you about giving today. I know we're on action, but giving is an action. I want you to know when you give, you should give, just willingly give, without expecting to receive anything from that person. I think it's great to have an expectation to know that you're going to get something back because you put that energy out and there's absolute faith that something good has to come back. Whether I see it or not is up to me and how I'm thinking in that moment and what emotion I'm living in. But whenever I put something good out, something good has to come back. And it's not just even. When you put good out, it's like tenfold that you get back. So we should always be striving to put good out. And the reason why is because your vibration just naturally rises when you put good out. So everybody that received a message from me today, I sent that in love. I wanted to know how you're going. What's your win? Because you will forget your wins so quickly. I explained this to you yesterday. You will forget your wins so quickly. And if we don't remember on a constant basis and repeatedly what the things are that we've won at and like what we have created by our thinking and our feeling tone, then chances are you'll forget it pretty quickly. So that's why I sent all those messages out to you. Whether you answer me or not is not up to me. That's entirely up to you. Most of you have. But if you're not, you're probably not my friend. So can you please be my friend? And another thing I want you to know about too is there's nearly 2,700 people or just over 2,700 people in this group. Yes, I did, Carmel. Thank you. There's 2,700 people in this group because we organically grow. And what that means is, yes, I do advertising for my training. So Manifest, I think I spent $500 on ads just to put it out there, just to get a little bit further reach or to keep reminding people because people forget. And you may have seen it on your page there. There's a sponsored thing, Polly Manifest. So this thing keeps coming up. Maybe I'll just say yes to it and I'll go. It costs me no money. I might as well just go. But how we have grown this group is from you guys inviting other people to this group because you know it could help them. And that's exactly what we do. So myself and my Limitless ladies, we invite people to this group because we know it can help absolutely everybody. So and I want you to know too that there is that competition going. So if you've got somebody, and the competition says that you have to have 10, but like 0 to 10, you will get an entry into the draw. If you can invite some people that you know that this would help, it would really help all of us. And you would even go into a prize to maybe win one of those journals, and whichever one comes, the affirmation cards or the weekly planner or the yearly planner, but goes weekly, however you want to say that. That's not very good. Anyway, so I just want you to think about that. Like, this is an open group. I don't have any restrictions. And you know the part that I love? Like, when I started this group, people say, like, now you have to shut it down and people have to ask permission before they can go live and they have to ask permission before they can post and they da-da-da-da. And I was like, what the actual? Really? Can't we just trust people? And there's some people that you can't trust. There's some people have had to boot out and like lock them down and stuff. And there's some people who've had to send messages like, no, this is not a group that you can go and try and whatever, like, what is it, self-promotion in. This is not what this is for. This is a group for helping people and inspire people to go out and change their lives and help other people do the same. So I don't have any restrictions in here. If you have anybody that's giving you a hard time, please just let us know, because we just boot them out. Like, just see you and leave the door swinging on your way out. You don't get to come back either. So just just have that in your mind there. There's no, like, because it's built with love, we don't really often get anybody that mucks it up. Because how can you? When you've created a place of love, how can somebody come in and do anything against it? All right, so now that I can see everybody's comments, this is amazing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did you wake up today? When you woke up, I know how this works, right? So you wake up and straight away your mind gets to go to like, oh, I'm probably a bit tired, or oh, what have I got to do today? Or did I have a great night's sleep and something? And then something else comes in like, oh, that's what I'm doing today. And that is like what we're doing here. You are tuning into my energy. So you will always tune into the loudest energy in the room. So you can have somebody that is in the most negative Nancy, just looking at life like it's a shit heap, and you can tune into them. In this group and this week, you are tuning into me, because I believe that I am the strongest energy and the strongest vibration in this group today. So you are tuning into me. So how are you feeling? And do you wake up with a bit of excitement? Like after like 1 o'clock when we turn off and you're gone and I'm gone, are you like, oh God, I feel so good. I just feel like I could just go out and I can save the world and I can go and make whatever my dreams come true and I can do all that. And then maybe by night time it's sort of gone down a bit, and then when you wake up in the morning like, oh, I've got 12 o'clock to look forward to, or 12 o'clock my time, and then you're sort of back on the uphill rise again. Is that what's happening for you? If it is, let me know. 9s, I love 9s, I love 10s. Well done, Jamie. Great job, Cheryl, Heidi, Jackie, great job, well done. And you know, it's okay, Sharon, that you haven't read messages. It's totally fine. Don't go and read them now. Stay here. Just stay here. All I wanted you to know was that, like, a lot of the times we do things and we have strings attached. I'm sending this out like I'm going to buy somebody a drink because they're going to buy me one back. I'm going to get into a shout and do this. Like, I just give. It's just like, I just buy it. If they want to buy another bottle later on, go for it. If not, because I don't just drink a glass normally. If you're going to have champagne, you might as well have a bottle, eh? But so I share. I don't just drink it all to myself. So I just do it. And if they want to buy the next one, I just let them. So that's the whole thing. You willingly give and you graciously receive. So you say, thank you. Thank you so much. Same as goes with compliments. How many of you get a compliment like, oh my God, your hair looks great today. Oh, has it? I just washed it. And you have to say that instead of just saying thank you. You have to give some excuse. You look great today. Oh, these old things like, oh, I should probably chuck them in the bin, or, oh, it's just a brand new dress. Just start to graciously receive and just say thank you. Please and thank you, well, thank you, just thank you. Thank you are two of the most powerful words in the whole universe when they're put together. Thank you. So learn to use those as a reaction to anything. Even if you get told that you're not doing something right, you say thank you. Like Maggie, when she told me the other day, Polly went off track. I'm like, yep, I know. Thanks, Mags. Like, thank them because they're helping you. We just got to look at things a little bit differently. Bron's a 9, Jess is a 7. How did your training go yesterday, Jess? I'm hoping it went really well. Okay. Ooh, okay. This is a really good card. I am allowed to say no. What is no? No is putting you first. No is looking at yourself and going, is this really going to get me to my goal? That's the most important question you should ask about anything that's ever asked of you. Will this get me closer to my goal? And your goal is a feeling, right? So will this help me feel the energy of my goal? If the answer was no, I'm glad, Jess. If the answer is no, I'm not going to do this. No is a complete answer. You do not have to give excuses. You do not have to say anything. It's just like, no. And people will be shocked. It's okay. And then you'll be like, oh, I should tell them why I can't. It's just like, no, you don't have to give anything. No is okay. So you are allowed to say no. So take that on board. You want to come to have a drink? Nope. Okay, no worries. See ya. You want to have a coffee with me? Nope. Okay. You don't have to do anything. But we're like, even in WildFit, I have to teach people in WildFit, like, because no, when somebody says, "Hey, you want to do this?" and it's like we're taking a break from it, it's just like no, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing this, blah 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 blah," and I just say this: I choose not to, because what can they say when you're choosing not to? It's not that I'm not allowed to, not that it's blah blah blah. No. Yes, saying no what you don't want to gives you space to say yes to what you do want. And it gives you back your power, because there is nothing worse, because I've been here a lot of times, that you say yes to certain things and like you're a couple of hours in and maybe it's a 10-hour thing and you're just like, oh, why did I say yes to this? I knew I shouldn't have said yes. I wish I had said no. And like, you got 10 hours of that energy. Imagine what that's creating. It is not fun. It is not going to create fun. So be okay with saying no, because whenever you do any action, if it is not action that you enjoy and that you know is going to get you to your goal, chances are it's action that has been forced upon you and you will not like doing it, and you will only then create more circumstances for you to feel that same way. Hello, Eva. So I hope that one makes sense. Now, who did the visualization last night? Hands up, or thumbs up, or whatever. Put something in there. If you did the visualization, give me some sort of emoji in the comments that you got it done. Can you make that a daily practice? Good work, Jamie. Can you make that a daily practice? Now, your paradigm is going to say, if you don't already have it set as a practice, it's going to say, oh, this is just the biggest waste of bloody time. Why are we doing this? Because some chick on some Facebook group is telling you to do this, you're going to go ahead and do it? Really? Like, these are some of the things that may be popping up in your head. Like, this feels like a little bit childish, like that me looking and seeing what I want is blah, 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 blah. Like, there'll be some paradigm that's coming in for you. I know, because I get them too. And if I don't do it daily to try and beat that one out, or I already have beaten it out, but when I was working to create this habit, if I didn't do it daily and I skipped a day, that paradigm's just like, it's getting stronger. It's like, I want a day, no. And then it's like doubly hard to get the next day done. So you got to work at you. You really do have to work at you, because if you don't, this is where you're going to stay. Now, when Bob said that to me, like when he said, well, it cost me $18,000 US for you to come and work in my inner circle, and I don't care how many sales you're making for my company, this is what you have to pay to work with me, and I'm going to teach you how to think. And I was like, oh, like I'm just starting to make some headway in this business. He said, that's okay, just stay where you are. And I was like, oh, where I wasn't where I wanted to be. And he knew up here, working with him and doing the things, and me being a good follower, him saying, okay, this is exactly what you need to do each day, and me going, yep, okay, I'm going to do that. I have become a really great follower of people that are like my mentors. If my mentor, any of my mentors say you need to do this, I do it, because they've got the results that I want. So yesterday I gave you I gave you a few suggestions of what you should do on your day. And that is, first of all, you got to know what you want and write it every day. You should know how it's going to feel. You got to know where you are. And so you can see where your habits are keeping you stuck, where your thinking is keeping you stuck. Absolutely, Haley. Jamie. It is Jamie Harvey. That came out Haley. That's funny. So you always take advice or mentorship from somebody that's been where you are and has what you want, because they can help you fast track. Imagine you try and do it all on your own. Like there's maybe like a swimmer that has done 100 meters in 30 seconds. I don't know if that's possible, but anyway, 30 seconds, 100 meter swim. and you're here and you can do 30 seconds in 10 meters or something, and you want to get there, wouldn't it be that you follow him and you or her and you say, okay, what did you do to get to that? And what was your daily schedule? And what was your routine? And they will tell you, because nobody that is at the top is afraid to give advice to the people down there. There's just, and it's not that they're below, we're just on different vibrations, remember that? But there is nobody up here that does not want to turn around and help others because it feels so good. But can you do that? Are you a good follower? Can you follow instructions? So like when Bob said to me, right, this is your daily routine, Polly. You do this, you know your goal, you know how it feels, you write it each day, you get emotionally involved with it, you start changing your beliefs, you start changing your habits, you write gratitude every day, you visualize every day, and then you take inspired action. Who am I to say no to him? This fellow had been doing it for 58 years. He was in his 80s. And he had what I wanted. I was going to follow. So I want you to think about, where are you now? Are you in that place where like, I am going to do this, I am going to follow this, and I am going to commit to this? Have you made a committed decision that you are going to start up a daily practice and get going on it? And if you don't want to involve yourself with a group that is being coached or be coached by somebody, get yourself an accountability group. Get yourself an accountability group and say, hey, I commit to this, and ask them to hold you accountable. If you have kids, they are probably the best people to ever ask, because they are looking for ways that the parents are stuffing up so they can say, hey, you're grounded. I'm going to take your phone off you if you don't do these things. They might make a bit of fun, but at least it's going to, like, you're like, them little buggers are not going to have it over me. So do something like that. If any of this is resonating with you, I want you to write resonate in the comments. And I want to tell you a story about resonate. When I first started this, that was the word, hey? You know how you just have this word and you're just like, oh, I fucking hate that word. Oh my God, I don't like that word. It was not part of my vocabulary. It didn't even fit with me. And whenever I said it, I felt uncomfortable. And whenever I said it, Craig would cringe. And he was just like, no, this is not the word. Now, both of us say it, and every time we say it, we look at each other and just have a little grin, because we're like, we're saying that word that we hated. But have you noticed that anything that you need to do, you have such resistance to do right at the beginning? And the reason that you have such resistance to it is because it's not a part of your paradigm. It is not a part of your current conditioning. And it is, if you have resistance to it, chances are you've got to do it to get where you want to go. There's no two ways about it. Like, I remember when I was doing Modere ages ago and I had this green powdery drink. Oh my God, it was fucking disgusting. It was so yuck. Anyway, that's what they told me. If you don't like it, then you've got to drink it, because your body probably needs it. Anyway, I found a better way. But it was just quite funny. Like, and that's the first time I sort of heard it, because that was way before I started this. And then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, righto. Now Bob's telling me the same thing. So whatever you are resisting doing, it will persist there. It will stay there, and it'll keep saying to you, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. You got to start taking some action on it. Now, what else did I have? I just got a few things that I really want to make sure that we say today, and then I'll be... Okay, all right. So today we're all on action. Does anybody understand what inspired action really is? That is not my client, because you know, because I've already taught you. What is inspired action? So inspired action, because there's no comments come back, and if they do come back, I'll be giving you a clap if you're right. Inspired action is action taken when you're in the spirit of the results that you want. So in spirit action, inspired action. Beautiful, Donna. Beautiful. So when you are in the spirit of your goal, which a visualization gets you, that you're writing your goal gets you, writing gratitude gets you, all of these things gets you into the spirit of your goal. When you take action from that place, any action that you take is going to probably be enjoyable. Even if it's a little bit uncomfortable, it's still going to be a bit enjoyable, and it's probably going to give you the best results. When you compare that to you sitting over here and you got to take action and you're just like, well, I don't know if this is going to work, far out, like, I'm just sick of this bloody blah, 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 like you're hating on your life right now and you're like, fine, I'll just go and take this action. It's probably not going to work. You're probably going to get more of that frustration back. But when you are in the spirit of your goal and you are coming from a place of love, and you know, nobody ever, I don't think anybody ever does a goal. Like, yes, you might have a money goal, but it's not about the money and what you have to do with it. It's about what you're going to do with the money and how you're going to feel giving something to somebody for that money. Like, it doesn't matter if you own a little corner shop, if you own a butcher shop, if you own a steel business, you are there for service. You are giving somebody something to help them get what they want. Make sense? So the fastest way to get to your goal is always to help other people get what they want. So if you have employees, they want a paycheck so they can take home to their family or whatever, but they want to enjoy doing what they're doing. So you make a workplace that is enjoyable to work at. Doesn't it make sense? And you support people, you help people, you love people, you give advice, you teach, you do everything that you can to help these people go home happy, because then you go home happy. But in the whole thing of it, you're helping yourself because you're doing the things that you enjoy. Because we love learning. We are a race or a being that loves to grow, loves to learn. We love accomplishing things. We are goal-seeking organisms. We are like missiles. You give us a goal, we hone in and we go after it. What most people do, though, is they set a goal in line with their paradigm that they've got right now, so there's no inspiration, there's no growth. And that's why we stay stuck, because we just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So this is where we've got to start to think. If I want to get out of the position I'm in, I need to change where I want to go, so that this box that I live in gets busted right open, because what I want is this big. So you think about the screen, like the screen that I'm on right now. I can only bring that much in until I decide I'm going to expand and go bigger. Does that make sense? So if you look at your life, you can only bring what you've got in there until you decide, I'm going to grow and get bigger and expand. And so I'm going to think about bigger things. I'm going to think about things that are outside my current conditioning. Think about things that scare me. Think about doing things that are uncomfortable. Think about doing all these things. And then I'm going to come up with one thing that I'm going to go after, which will be your C-type goal. Now, we call it a C-type goal because A-type in Proctor Gallagher language, so in Bob's language, A-type goal is something you've already done before, and you know that you can do it. You absolutely know you can do it. So you say, I'm gonna walk around the block every day. You already know you can do that. You've probably done it 100 times. Then we go to B-type goals. That's our next step. Like, okay, fine, I'll get a bigger goal pole. That's it, I'll get a bigger goal. And we go to B-type goals, and it's something we think we can do. And we have this little plan, and we say, like, if you do this, do this, do this, like going for a diploma or something, I suppose. And they say, okay, if you do this and you answer all these questions and you study and you do it, you will get your diploma. You think you can do it. C-type, you have no effing idea how it's going to happen. If you're lucky, you may only know the first step. You may only know the first action that you have to take. Like if it's start a new business, and I don't even know what business I'm going to get into yet, but what would be the first thing? Well, my first thing would be either apply for an ABN or name the business or something, and then it'll grow from there. But like, you can create a business out of nothing. I have. And you don't need a whole lot of anything except what you think you need. And your thinking is a bit screwed up because your paradigm is going to chuck up some ideas there and go, okay, you need this and this and this, which is a whole lot of bullshit. What you need is desire. You need a committed decision to do anything out of the ordinary for you. And you need some self-discipline. You do not need motivation, because motivation runs out. Because you think about it, if I'm not here, would you have created your vision boards? Would you have written gratitude? Would you have even come up with your goal? Would you have identified the beliefs that, like the thinking that you have that creates your belief system? Would you have done all of that without somebody telling you what to do? Probably not. And if we didn't create these competitions, and this is why we created these competitions or these prize giveaways, because if we just said, okay, now go out and create your vision board and go out and pick your beliefs and like listen to yourself and write them down. If we didn't say, hey, we'll give you a prize if you get it done, the chances are you wouldn't do it. Something else would come up. I just got too busy. I didn't get home till work till late. Oh, the kids were all crying, and then somebody was sick, and this and that. You would make excuses. So you need accountability, and our prizes are your accountability. See how that works? See how giving prizes to kids? Now, we don't say, right, now, if you haven't done this, I am not going to let you do this again, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like we've probably done with our children, because I've done that. We don't do that. We just reward the ones that do the work. And then it makes doing the work, you're not running away from something that you fear, you are going towards something that you want. I hope that makes sense to you all. Now, I want to talk about action in a different sort of way. Now, some of you already heard this, but I want to talk about responding and reacting. Responding is thinking before you act, taking some time, and first of all, examining what is going on, and then deciding, okay, what's my goal? There it is. Then I will respond to this. Reaction is instant, and it's normally your paradigm that's acting and getting you to act, and it's in control of your thinking, and it controls your feelings, and you act. And it is called remembered action is what a reaction is. It's a remembered action. And it's a repeated action. You just look up what does the prefix means. It means again and again and again and again. Something that you have repeated. So when we react, when you look at that and you go, okay, I just reacted. Why did I react? Oh, because that's what I did last time. And that's what I saw my mum do. And that's what I saw Dad do. And that's what I watched at school do. And I watched this show on TV, and that's what they did. And that's how that happened. And I worked at a place, and that's what they did when I worked there. And there's all these things that we remember, and then we do. So to respond, it takes thinking. You've got to pause. So there's a few methods that I use here. So I use 3. Wait 3 seconds. If it's really pissed me off, wait 3 minutes or 3 hours or sometimes 3 days. Sometimes you can even wait 3 years. It doesn't really matter, but just think. And there's a question that you ask yourself as well. Now, the question is just so easy. Will this be a problem at my goal? Will this be there at my goal? Can I just let it go? Now, I'm a pretty competitive person, and I have 4 sisters, and we used to get into texting wars, and we'd all be fighting for that last text. And then, so that you could be the last text, you'd text and then block everybody else so then they couldn't send you back a text, and you're like, oh, one. And then you're sitting there thinking, I wonder if they kept going. Or like I've got out of a group, like they'd be in a group chat message, and I just like, fine, I'll just leave. And then I think, I wonder if they kept talking. What did I miss? Like, you get that FOMO, right? But that's what my life used to be like. It used to be texting wars with my mum, my sisters, not all of them, some of them. But it was remembered. That was what fighting was like when I was growing up as a kid. Like 4 sisters in a house. There was a bit of fighting going on, and then a mum as well, so you can just imagine. And then my stepdad would just come in like, settle the hell down everybody, just slow down. But that was the drama of my life. So then when I had my own kids, and my thinking was still the same, no matter how much I wanted it to be different, my thinking was still the same. My paradigm was still in control, so it would throw thoughts up. That is so wrong. And I had a coach at one stage, and I still reflect on this. I had a coach, we were out to dinner, and there were some kids just going hell for leather, screaming and stuff and crying in the restaurant. She said, would your kids ever do that? I said, hell no, they would not be game enough. And then I thought, and now like with what I know now, it's just like, what a control freak. What a control freak I used to be. Because I couldn't control my own feelings and I couldn't control my own reactions to things. I had to control everything else around me, so that then I had an excuse maybe to get angry or not to get angry. Because if I was controlling everybody else and they were doing as they're told, I didn't have to. But nobody was able to do what they say. Like I wrote that post the other day and said like my mum, I walked around on eggshells with my mum. Oh my God, my husband did, my kids did. Like my kids used to say, they still do now, Mum, we used to get so scared, like how's mum gonna come home today? And I'm like, yeah, I learned that. And I get that. That's why I changed. That's why I did all this work. Because when Bob said to me, if you don't do this work, you're going to be in the same place in 5 years' time, because paradigm will keep you there unless you learn how to change it. And I was like, and then he says to me, go back over your business, Paula, because I was like, you have to write legal things there, right? So go back over your business, Paula, and tell me, over the last 5 years, how much has your revenue changed? And it had maybe changed 100,000 up and down over that 5 years. And I was like, okay. I said, it hasn't really? He said, because a paradigm runs that bloody business. If you want your business to change, you have to change the paradigm that's in there. And I was like, right. He said, businesses have a paradigm, families have a paradigm, people have paradigms, everybody's got a paradigm, and if they don't learn how to change it, they're going to be in the same place in 5 years' time, in 12 months' time. And I was like, right, okay, righto, I get you. I understand, yes. And I taught this to when my first group of Lead the Field, I said to them all, go out and check your business. Tell me, like, has it changed? And they're like, no. Some months we think we're doing great, and they might have a $70,000 month or a $200,000 month or a $500,000 month. Then the next month is down a bit, but in the end, it all just levels out to be the same as it was. And that is because a paradigm is running everything. Your paradigm, which lives in your subconscious mind. So remember when I sent you that Bob video about the law of attraction? He draws your head, cuts it in half. Top part is conscious. That's where your ability to think is. Bottom half runs your body. Whatever you're feeling is going to make you take action. So if you are not using your thinking mind to get into the spirit of what you're doing and think about what you're doing and feel it, and then let your body take action, which is in spirit then, your body takes action and it'll come up with ideas, because your intuition lives in the top half of your mind. So your intuition will say, Polly, you should do this. And paradigm's going to go, oh, that's a bloody stupid idea. Why would we want to go and do that? And you're like, because it's going to help you. And it'll come up with something. And I just got to go, shut up, in spirit, just do it. Even this morning, I got a gift from another company that I do some work for. And they said, you've got a choice of 3 things. Straight away, my intuition said, you should pick this one. And then my paradigm goes, are you sure that's the best one? I think she needs to do all 3. But maybe one of these other ones would be like, oh my God. Okay, so I put it in the group and I thought, okay, I'll just do a consensus, like send out this, rightio ladies, tell me which one you think I should do. And they said the same one that I initially thought. And then, because I teach, intuition always comes first, paradigm comes second. But you know, sometimes you just second guess your intuition. And it's okay. But isn't that why you have a group of people that are like-minded? That you go, hey, I had this thought and I think I should do this, but then there's other things popping in my head saying this. Hello, can you just help me out here? Like, I am not afraid to ask anybody for advice as long as they're in my circle. I'm not going to go and talk to somebody that has been bitching and moaning about something and say, hey, I've been offered this, what do you think I should do? It's like going and asking a plumber about something that I should be going to a gynecologist to, hey? Like, that is not going to happen. You're not going to get the answer that you want. Now, is this all making sense to you all? I've talked for 15 minutes because there's been no comments there. Who here is, I want to know, are you a reactor or are you a responder, or are you working towards being a responder? What does 10% mean? %. That's better. I was thinking, Jess, really? Funny. Working towards being a responder. Good job. So, as an affirmation, like you think about it, remember, how do we change a belief in your subconscious mind? How do we change the paradigm? It's one belief or one habit, one action, one bit of your self-image at a time. How do we change that? Through repetition. Now, as soon as you do a repeated action, which is a reaction, something that you've already done before, you've just made the paradigm stronger. So, we've got to come up with first an affirmation for you. So, all of you that say, I am working on being a responder, I am getting better at responding every single day. I am getting better at responding every single day. And there's another thing that I can give you a little bit of help on too. There's this thing called a do-over. Okay, like if you screw up a meal and it doesn't taste real good, chances are you're going to try that thing again. I'm going to get this right. That's a do-over. If we react, most of our habit is to then react, maybe blame somebody, like I used to do this. You made me do it. If you kids would just do as you're told, or if everybody at work just did what they were supposed to and not wasted things and blah, 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 blah. If everybody just did what they were supposed to do, I would be able to respond. And I would blame everybody else around me. So they made me do it. One of the first things that I learnt was nobody makes you do anything. You do that all on your own. And it is not a fun thing to say to somebody when they're in the midst of reacting, because that doesn't go well. So just be careful there. But you just know when somebody's reacting, it's like, oh, okay, that's a remembered action. That's something that they've done over and over again. And your kids will know this, hey? How many of you have got kids that as soon as you start with your little rant, that is like they've got earplugs in and they just walk away like it means nothing? Or they get that glazed look in their eyes like, oh, here we go again. Okay. Or maybe it's your husband or your partner or your wife or something, like mine used to. So we react because it's part of our conditioning. Then we blame it on other people and we blame it on circumstances and da. Then, because you're inner being, there's this thing inside you that knows the truth and it just says, well, you probably lost your cool a little bit there, hey? You could have maybe done this and that, because hindsight is 20/20. So then you might go down that road of beating up on yourself and then come back out. I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done that, and like, I'm really sorry. And then you try and make it up to them, and then you buy them something, or you take them out for dinner, or you give them the treat that they wanted, or the thing that they wanted in the first place, and you just undid a lot of work that you've probably been trying to do. Instead, you can do a do-over. And you have to take beating up, because beating up on yourself and beating yourself, like my husband used to call me Dobby. If you've watched Harry Potter, Dobby's that little thing and he bangs his head on the wall beating himself up. So I used to be a really good offender of beating up on myself. So you've got to make that something that you're not allowed to do anymore. You just got to discipline yourself. Like, okay, it is what it is. I can't change that, but I can redo it. So you can have a do-over. So I've walked into the house before and it's been a schmozzle. The kids have been home from school at 3 o'clock sort of thing until 5:30 in the afternoon, and then I've walked in the door and there is just food and shit everywhere, and I've walked in the door and just lost it. It's just like that big Chernobyl bomb just goes boom. Whew, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, all right. I've walked back out the door, come back in, said I'm doing a do-over, and they're just looking at me like, who is this crazy person? I said, all right, I'm so sorry. Kids, when I come home at 5:30, I would really appreciate it if I could walk in the house and start cooking dinner and I don't have to clean up all your dishes. So I'm just going to walk down to my room. I'm going to get out of my work clothes and get into something that maybe I can go for a swim or something, and I want you to clean up the kitchen. And they're like, okay, no worries, Mum. Before, like, they were just running for it sort of thing. So that's a do-over. Now, you may feel a little bit crazy, but guess what? It gets rid of all the worry there is about, like, bullying yourself and beating up on yourself. It immediately changes the tension and the air in the room, and you just took responsibility all in one sweep. It is the most amazing thing that you could ever do. So start to make them be a part of your practice. And, you know, then you will start to come up with ideas. So then I'd come up with this idea, okay, how can I get home so that we don't have to worry about the reaction or me having to do a do-over? What can I do? Because kids have no concept of time. When they're playing, they don't really care. They don't really care until it gets time to go to work, and then they're clock watching the whole time. They're like, is it 5 o'clock? Is it 5 o'clock? Oh, it's 2 minutes too. I'll just go and bum around for 2 minutes before I go. My kids work with me, so I know what they do. So then you'll come up with these inspired ideas because you're in the spirit of your goal. My goal was to be a calm, responsive mother, wife, and business owner. So then how can I do this differently? What can I do differently? What different actions can I take? Why don't I call the kids before I come home and give them time to clean up their mess? Because I really don't want them to be somebody that is not allowed to cook or feed and not allowed to colour in and not allowed to be creative. I just want to come home to clean house. So I got to calling them. Kids, I'll be home in 20 minutes. And once mobile phones came out, I forgot one day, and I'd rung and I said, I'm so sorry, but I've already turned into the street. I'm on my way. And like they said, Mum, and I just sat in the car for a couple of minutes just to give them a chance. I said, I'll just sit in the car, come and tell me when you've cleaned up. And we make a joke out of it because it's so much easier than coming home to that. And then, like, the kids have had parties when Craig and I have been away, and they just know before Mum comes home, you clean the house. And there's no arguments. It's not about the mess. It's about just having the cleanup. Like, it's not about that. So just think about how can you do things differently. And I know I say fuck the how and forget the how, but you will come up with ways when you're in the spirit of your goal. And that's why you don't have to worry about it right at the beginning. You don't have to know how your goal is going to take action and take shape. And you don't have to know what action you're going to take and what the steps are. You don't even need to know the first one. You just need to know that you want it more than anything. And then if you get into the spirit of it, do everything that I taught you yesterday and the day before and the day before, and stay in the spirit of your goal, then you will be inspired to take certain action. And it will be action that you enjoy. Like, you think about that, ringing up the kids and saying, hey, I'm on my way, but I'm nearly home, you've got to hurry. Like, that was fun. And then the kids get off, Mum's on her way, shit. Oh. So, and it gets rid of so much. So do-overs, think about it. Where can I do a do-over? And you can clear all that bad energy in your past life, like up until today. You can clear all of that by just taking responsibility for everything that you've ever lost your shit at. Everything that and you don't have to go to anybody else. You just got to sit there and think about it, and just like, oh, could have done do-over on that one. Yep. And you just identify the do-over in your mind, right? Imagination is the most important thing that you've got. It's the most magical, miraculous thing that you've got. You're like, and it's in you. It doesn't have to come to you. You've already got it. And that's so great, Valerie. So when you use your imagination to achieve what you want to achieve, so nobody wants to carry around all this excess baggage. Like, how many of you walk around, like, just metaphorically speaking, walk around with a huge, like, you've all seen how I travel, hey? You've seen my big suitcases, or 10 of them or whatever. So how many of you are walking around with that baggage all full of all your past, like beating up, all the things that you live with, all your regrets, everything like that, the shoulds that you should have done? How many of you are walking around with one of those? Because that's exactly what I used to. And I used to do this when I did my my live tour. Like, it's like, how many of you are walking around with this thing, with full of all this old junk that is not helping you to move forward? So all you have to do is use your imagination. Sit quietly. You don't have to do it all in one hit, but it's really quick. You can just sit there and just imagine all the times that you could have done something different, and just see yourself doing something different. And you can use Ho'oponopono, which I'm going to teach you tomorrow. But there's 4 phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. You just say that 4 times, you can just clear any of that junk. And just take responsibility. I did that. Everything that comes in. If one of your deals goes south, I did that. Must have done something, like there'll be, okay, all I need to do now is make sure I'm really conscious about the vibration that I'm in. What are my thoughts? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What are my actions? My thinking creates my feeling. My feeling creates my actions. My actions get with a reaction from the universe, and that's my result. There was one other thing that I just wanted to tell you. Oh, good to see you here, Maraca. Renee Mazaraca. That's funny. I'll call you that from now on. Oh, good, Lee. Can you say that again, please, Polly? You know, when I come up here, I'm in inspired action, okay? I'm just letting spirit come to and through me, because that is, if you see my notes, that's it. That's my notes for the day. And most of it was the housekeeping, like I said to Mags. I need to, because I was on the phone to her until 25 to 12, and I'm like, Mags, I've got to go. I've got to write notes. She said, you don't need notes. I said, I do, because there's some things I've got to remember to tell people, like, please be my friend. So I was talking about, yes. Okay, so I was talking to Donna Digby today. My thoughts create my feelings. My feelings automatically create my actions. And my actions create my results, because you get whatever you put out in energetic actions, you get like back. So then, like, I'm just going to talk about what we talked about today, Donna. God, I got sidetracked again. My thinking creates, okay, feeling. So how do you know what vibration that you're in? How do you know what you're going to be creating? It's your feelings. Feeling is a word that was created to describe the vibration that you're on, so that you could be consciously aware of the vibration that you're on. Mags, I think in the email today, if we can send out the scale of emotions. So there is an emotional guidance scale, and we'll email it to you today with this recording. Your job is to feel better. Now, like I said the other day, you can't go from the bottom to the top. Like, there's 22 emotions on this. You can't go from the depths of depression up to like joy and achievement and happiness and stuff like that. But you can start to move up it a bit. And your thinking is going to be paramount. So we've got to learn how to think. We've got to learn to look at things differently, because if we keep looking at things and seeing things with our eyes and making a judgment, which is what we do, we look at something, we make a judgment, we feel about it, and then we go and take action, we are going to keep in this, like this, repeating the same thing and reacting and recreating the same thing. So recreating, so again and again, create the same thing again and again and again. That's recreating. So we don't want to be doing that. We are supposed to be expanding and expressing ourselves, not staying the same. And sometimes, well, most of the time, like I know if I don't have somebody calling me on my shit, I will make it the truth. And if I don't have somebody giving me constructive feedback, I will keep doing the same thing. But there's always this drive in me, let's do something different, let's do something different, let's do something different. And then my paradigm goes, no, it's just so much easier to keep doing the same thing. And that's what we've got in us. Paradigms are so strong. Like even Bob, after 60-something years of doing this work, he came off stage once and he said, paradigms are a bitch. Because they are. They absolutely are. They will keep you stuck and make you think that you're doing amazing. Because that's what I thought. Like I was like, to hell with everybody else. I'm doing all right here and rah. Like, yeah, you need to be selfish, but don't you want your family to be able to want to spend time with you? And don't you want your work colleagues to want to spend time with you? But then, like, sometimes maybe you don't. Who knows? Anyway, you have got the next lot of work to do today, and Maggie will send you an email and put a post up of what you have to do today, and really think about what actions you are doing. And because your goal demands a certain type of person, a certain personality, a certain group of actions. When you're doing certain actions, just ask yourself, is this what my goal demands of me? Or is this just a habit? Because there is a self-image part of you too that you're going to have to change. Because let's just be honest, if you were already on the vibration and living and thinking the way that you would be at your goal, you would already have it. So there's always growing to do, no matter what. As long as you are setting goals, and as long as you're a human being, you should be setting goals. All right. Has this all made sense with you today? Has it all helped you? Has it given you that spark back again? Like, yes, I can do this. Because all I have to do is think a little bit differently. I just have to look at the areas in my life where my thinking hasn't changed, and where can I think differently? And if I was at my goal, what would I think about these certain things? Like, some things are like a speck of sand, really, in that whole scheme of life, but we make it to be this huge mountain when it didn't have to be. It's just like, oh, well. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, hey Siri. Can I please have a random number between 1 and 72? 17! It's quite funny. I said the other day, I want to come back to Catherine, because I haven't booked my return flight yet. I want to come back to Catherine by the 17th, and now 17 comes up. Like, whatever you bring into your consciousness, you will create. This is why when you think about somebody, so 17, okay, cool. When you think about somebody, they'll call you, or they'll message you, or you'll see their name on a street sign, or you'll see certain things. Like, you are creating. Whatever you bring to your consciousness, you create. So you've got to start to really discipline your thinking. Think about only the things that you want to think about. Now, this lady that has won this today has already had a win today. When I messaged her this morning, I said, what's your win today? She's like, well, I don't even know how to put this, Polly. But I was just craving Catherine mangoes. And then there's this ad on Facebook. This fella on Facebook, and he's getting me Catherine mangoes, and I'm picking them up tomorrow. So Chelsea Johnson, well done. Congratulations. You have won the journal and the daily planner. That'll get you back on track real quick. And yes, everybody, remember, I can have anything I want. And I can be, do, and have anything I want. And I am the only thing that's standing in my way. So as soon as I get out of my own way, guess what? You get it. And you're well on your way. So congratulations, Chelsea. Congratulations, all of you that have been doing the work. We have one more day of live, and then we have our Zoom on Monday afternoon. please make sure you come to the Zoom. There is nothing worse, and I'll tell you this, there's nothing worse than all these people that do this training and they don't turn up to the Zoom. And then it's like, this is your time to do the face-to-face thing, and let's have a chat, and let's ask some questions, and let's get into some answers, and let's get into the whole community that I work with. Like, let's be face-to-face. So if you can make it to that call at 5:15 on Monday, make sure you do, and turn your camera on. We want to see you. We want to know who we're talking to. This is all well and good, me being live here, but yous aren't getting to see each other. We're interacting in a chat, but it's so good seeing people's faces, and it's so good reading the energy of somebody. Like, you see them, you just, like, their eyes light up, they get cognitions, like, things are just amazing. So you are the whole center of your universe, and you can change your whole universe just by changing the way that you think. And remember, thinking is always the start of any action. So think about what you want, get into the spirit of it, and then take action. All right, love you all. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.